always go with the long edge, the paper edge, across the joists. The rooms are quite often out of square slightly.
Okay.
We measure the room, in this case it's 4.4 metres. Our boards are 1.2 metres, so 3 boards will be 3.6 metres, leaves us 800 millimetres over. Divide that by 2 and we start with a 400 millimetre rip. It's much easier to cut tight into a wall with a narrow bit than with a full board. We screw it at least every 230 millimetres. When this is fixed, we go to the next board, which is a half sheet starting from here, and then we follow on with a full sheet from there.
Okay.
Okay?
So because you want to cross the joints, is that correct?
Because the joints must be staggered. Now, to ensure these boards keep running parallel, which is the main thing, I will then start with a long board from there and a longer board, work my way across the ceiling, so these edges are always staying together.
Right.
And then I come back that way. This is the tool. It's very simple. It's an extra hand. And we're now ready, 2 extra hands in place, ready to take the next board. Now, I've only put 3 screws in that.
Right.
I can look and check that I'm in line properly. I am. You are free to go and measure and cut the next board.
Got it.
While I carry on screwing this up.
Got it, mate.
When we board our walls, our long edges go the other way, down the studs. When we board around the doorway, we never ever continue the edge of the board up along the line of the door. Our lift and lock foot lifter, we lift our board into position, fold it round, make it into a sharp corner and take it out.
So it's like the ceiling.
Like the ceiling.
You've measured the full length of the wall, divided it by 1200 and you're splitting the piece. Look at that, just the line of the board straight up the centre of the stud.
First job, we mark our studs on the board. Okay, our studs are at 400 centres. I now need to make the cutouts for the electrical sockets to 118 millimetres and 118. 146 to 153. 153. So I'm cutting at an angle, so the plasterboard is slightly bigger on the back than the front. Lift. So I can trim it exactly with the knife around the box. Ease the board into the Boardmate. It's now in position. I lift, lock.
The ceiling.
The board's held. I have 2 hands free to make my fixings.
The first thing we have to do, Noel, is put a tape over the joints so they don't crack. We press in tightly, hold the gun firmly on the wall.
All our joints now are taped all around the room.
So we start with the filler.
So it's 2 coats of filler and a finish of this.
Now the lifetime of the material is generally around about 30 minutes. So you only knock up just enough to do as much work as you can cope with.
For 30 minutes?
For 30 minutes.
You've got to mix again.
And then you mix again. And you have to keep your tools nice and clean with this material because it goes off very, very hard. It should be around about the consistency of double cream by the time you're finished, and it's nice and smooth to apply to the wall. Just carefully remove some from the bucket, which can be a bit of a knack, but it's quite easy really. And put it onto the joint and smooth it up the wall. If you notice, you're just filling out those 2 bevels of the boards. I'll apply at the top and this time pull it down as in the reverse order from what I did at the bottom.
Okay.
And just feather it in really. Take off the edges so you don't leave yourself any sanding for later on.
Yeah, take off the excess, take off the edges.
Take off the excess and away we go. Screw holes at the same time. Going to apply a second coat of filler just to take out any of the shrinkage that has occurred
and I mean,
during the drying process. But it's just simply an on-off process. For external angles we use a reinforced bead. I'll show you how I install it. Now with this, and then just apply it with thumb and forefinger.
Press it into the filler.
Press it into the filler. And we apply a coat of filler like we did with the flat tapes and the internals. thus covering the tape.
I've been beavering away, sanding it for you, so it's now time to apply the finish coat.
It is indeed. Just nice and gently, nice and slowly. You see the difference in that and how smooth that is?
Mm-hmm.
Just the consistency of it alone.
Wow.
And it's like putting single cream as opposed to double cream on the
Right.
wall this time. Just lightly rub off the edges of the jointing material so it would blend in nice and smoothly
To the board.
to the board.
Get out your sandpaper and call in the painter, huh?